It says I'm live, so we'll see. Wow, that sun glare is something else. Um, I'm just going to stay on here a little bit, guys. I had some time today. I figured I would just take a chance and see if anybody shows up for an impromptu live show. I think it's going to be ripe for discussion on the new Fender. Uh, the new Fender Standard series of guitars. I'm starting to see more and more videos pop up on that baby and more opinions. So I just thought we would have a little time to talk about it. So I'm going to sit tight, wait for people to join, then we'll chime in. Hey Martin, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. It's going to be a quiet one, I think, today, since there was nothing planned here. I just thought I'd open up the discussion for the new Fender Standard, which is really an enigma. So I know a lot of people have really crazy feelings about it. Hey, Bay Area Rich, how are you? Thank you for joining, sir. What's Martin saying? Yeah, Revstar is an interesting guitar, Martin. I had one, oh God, I want to say maybe four or 5 years ago. And I had it for a short period of time because I was having problems with the electronics on it. I bought it used. And I probably could have fixed it myself if I had any brains and knew a little bit about what I was doing, but I just didn't want to take a chance. It was a pickup issue, and I wound up trading it in at Guitar Center. But what I recall of the guitar were the pickups, the stock pickups, the humbuckers that were in the guitar, and their Alnico pickups were really, really nice sounding pickups, and the neck was fantastic on the guitar. It just had a great feel from a playability standpoint, from a stock pickup standpoint, quality of the guitar. It was really spot on. Hey, JP, how you doing, man? Good afternoon. Wow, I didn't expect this many people, although there's nobody on, actually joining. AK Snug, how are you? Yeah, so we can start. I guess we can start getting this the dance going here, because at least we have a couple of people on the video at this point. But yeah, so what I'm holding here, guys, as you can probably tell, is a Fender made in Mexico Strat, right? And this is the Player Series 1, not the 2. So the main difference between this guy and the 2, for those of you that don't know, is the 2 has a rolled fretboard on it. The 2 has tuners that are a bit different than this. They have the slotted tuners, which this does not have, as you can see, the vintage open shaft. It has what else? The tremolo, I think, is very similar to this. This is a 2-point trem. The pickups are supposed to be slightly tweaked on the Player Series 2, although they're Fender Alnicos like these on this guitar. So I think it's pretty comparable with some, minor exceptions. Now, the other major difference is that if you decide not to have the maple fretboard, with this guitar, it's an Indian Laurel fretboard as the other option. With the Player 2, you can get a rosewood fretboard. And you also can get a chambered body and some other enhancements, right? But for the most part, they're very, very similar guitars. Now, the Standard, completely different animal, right? I have no idea how Fender, in good conscience, can have a street price of $599.99, $600 for that guitar, which is nothing more than a Squire. In fact, some of the Squires, I think, are actually much better guitars than that Fender Standard at $600. Now, the guitar has a popular body. It has 21 frets on it. medium jumbo frets. It has a micarta nut, which is nothing more than a plastic nut. It's a fancy name for a plastic nut, right? It has basic Fender sealed tuners on the guitar. It has ceramic pickups. It doesn't have a rolled fretboard. I mean, and it doesn't even have the nice Fender gold tone logo on the guitar. It's painted black like Squire on the headstock. Guys, for $600, for half that price, you can get a used Squire Classic Vibe that will blow the doors off that Fender Standard. You'll have Alnico pickups in it. You'll have a better nut. You'll have a better trem system. You will have a better feeling neck. You will have probably better electronics. That's my guess in the Classic Vibe. The headstock looks better. You have the gold logo, even though it says Squire. It's a nicer logo than that black painted cheap looking Fender on the Standard. Eons above, and you're going to be paying in the threes, right? The street price for the Classic Vibes now, I think, correct me guys if I'm wrong, is $449, I think. But you can get them all day long for $399. Pro Audio Star always has open boxes, B stocks of those guitars for around, $399. So significantly less than the Fender Standard. Just a real disappointment for them to come out with that at that price. It's basically what they're doing is saying, look, if you can't afford a Fender, a made in Mexico Fender, you certainly can't afford a USA made Fender. But if you can't afford a made in Mexico Fender, the next best thing is this Indonesian made Strat, which is nothing more than a Squire. And it's a lower designed Squire, in my opinion. Guys, if I'm off, let me know your thoughts. That's how I see it. Yeah, VTech, he seems to agree. Classic Vibe all day long. Oh yeah, I saw Big Jake's video, Snug. Yeah, and he went he went kind of crazy on the fact because he bought the Standard and I saw him playing it. And there's no reason, and he's absolutely spot on, right? There's no reason to buy that. You're nuts, in my opinion, spending money on that guitar rather than getting a Classic Vibe. Or even an Affinity. I'll be honest with you. An Affinity has a poplar body, right? An Affinity has 21 frets, medium jumbo frets. An Affinity has a plastic nut. An Affinity has, one step up, it has the slotted vintage tuner shafts on it. Better tuners, in my opinion. Now, the body thickness might be a little thinner than the full body on the Standard. But if that doesn't mean anything to you, and it wouldn't to me, a much better value on an Affinity. And you're paying now $250 versus $600. So, I mean, it's your call, right? But yeah, that's my feeling. Classic Vibe for sure will blow that $599 Standard away, and an Affinity will be comparable, in my opinion. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Yeah, AKA Snug. Anything else that you want me to address on regarding the Standard that I might have left out? You let me know. But alternatives, right? For that amount of money, if you're going to spend $600 on a guitar, I would go with the Player Series 1, the first version of the Player Series, which I'm holding right here, all day long, if you want to have Fender on the headstock, if that's something that's real important to you. And these guitars I'm seeing, very, very often now for under $600, in most cases like $579.99. Musician's Friend has had them for $579.99 in certain colors. Pro Audio Star consistently has them for that price. Adorama sometimes has these things for even $549, brand new. They like that light Lake Placid blue color for some reason, and they blow those things out all the time. So you can get the Made in Mexico Player One for less money than you'd be paying for the standard, and you're getting a guitar that looks better, has the gold embossed logo, has an older body, right? Has uh, Alnico 5 pickups on the guitar as opposed to ceramic pickups. I mean, it's worlds above the guitar in terms of quality. And, I just don't see any reason. Have you gotten your mitts on the new Ultras? No, I have not, Martin. I have not. I would love to, but I haven't. I haven't had that opportunity yet. Hey, Mitch, welcome aboard, man. Thanks for joining. Uh, he's saying Mitch is agreeing. I guess he's saying it's ridiculous paying that much on when you say this guitar. I'm assuming you're referring to that standard, that Fender standard. Yeah, I it's a crime how they can come out and charge that kind of money for the quality of that guitar. Bay Area Rich, I got the Fesley Ghost. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube on them. They look like great guitars. Wilkinson pickups and trem, right? So you're getting an upgrade on the pickups. Roasted maple neck. You got a real rosewood fretboard, coil split on it, Grover tuners. Yeah, $270 new on Amazon. Yeah, you can't beat that one, right? Specs wise, at least, Fender can't even come anywhere near that. And I'm assuming, I've never played one, but I'm assuming it's a really good quality guitar. Hey, look, Fesley and Donner, both of them have stepped up their game on coming out with guitars that are approaching classic vibe specs at reasonable prices, right? Shy of $300. What else? Let's see here. Yeah, it's probably a smart idea, Martin. I'm reading back into your earlier comment about buying a set of nut files. That sounds dirty, doesn't it? But yeah, that's a good idea. I wish I had more luthier skills. I know for those of you that probably may or may not have seen the video that I had on whether you need to bring a new purchase to a pro to have it set up. Again, that's a personal opinion. It depends upon what you're buying, depends upon where you are in your knowledge of the guitar, right? But if you're able to tweak a guitar a little bit and do the basic stuff, maybe sanding off some of the fret ends, filing down some of the higher frets, a nice set of nut tools to work on the nut, maybe work on the fret ends. It's probably a good investment and saves you a bunch of money because, man, the cost of setups these days are 40 could be 40 or 50% of the price of a budget guitar, and they're really not doing a heck of a lot more than what you could do if you just gave it a go. Now, the other flip side to that is if you are overly aggressive in some of your tweaking, you might regret it and ruin the guitar. But if it's a minimal of investment and it's a learning experience, then it's part of growing, I guess. What else? What else is good in guitar news on an impromptu video? Those, I don't know if anybody if you saw that RevStar video I put up on the Yamaha RevStar guitar that they have. They're blowing out over at what the hell's the store? Got a mental block. But anyway, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Yamaha RevStar, you talk about a good guitar and a good value. This guitar is like $412 free shipping, and it comes with Alnico 5 pickups. You're getting a mahogany body on the guitar, a mahogany neck, nice tuners. Yamaha at their price point, probably from a quality control standpoint, makes some of the better gear on the market. Really good value, really good bang for the buck. And like I said, that guitar with the appointments that it has on it for $412 free shipping is a really good deal. Yeah, no, you're right, Martin. The beauty of working on something that's, not going to break the bank is a reasonably priced instrument, budget instrument, is that it gives you the opportunity to explore and learn, right? And if you do make an occasional mistake or whatever, you're not going to kill yourself because you're not spending thousands of dollars on the guitar. Let's see here. Let me see if I'm missing anything. No. Let's see. VTech just deploy to move the price on the inexperienced guitar player. Yeah, for another $150. Yeah, depending. Now, when you say you can have a real Fender, and you're emphasizing real, what model are you referring to there, VTech? I'm just curious. Are you talking about an American Fender? Because you got to go up, I think, a little bit more than that to get to that point. One another. What do you got there? Big Jake Music, the guy that complains too much in his videos. Had to block him. Isn't he so cold? I'm not going to go there. Hey, man, I ain't going where you're going there, one another. Let's see. Mishgun 2K just joined. Is this the Indonesia-made popular body Fender? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the lipstick on a pig. The Indonesian-made ceramic pickup-laden, cheap hardware fronted piece of whatever. You can fill in the last couple of words there that Fender calls the Fender Standard Series. Yeah, it's a real bargain. Mitch is saying no more expensive guitars for me. Bad experience with my EVH Special from Sweetwater. Wow, that's unusual, Mitch, too, with Sweetwater. I thought you were going to say Pro Audio Star because they're constantly blowing out the EVH Special. Sweetwater normally, before they leave the door there, they're normally checked over pretty good. Curious to know what kind of kind of situation you had there. Yeah, we were just Mishgun. We were just talking that I apologize. You joined after we went over it, but I said that earlier that I would buy a Squier Classic Vibe all day long over that Standard Series from a pickup standpoint, from a finishing standpoint, from the fact that you're getting a gold logo on the Squier headstock as opposed to that piss poor black paint job on the Standard. Yeah, the Classic Vibe is effectively it's as good as a made in Mexico Player Series guitar for a fraction of the price. They're really probably one of the best value instruments on the market, without a doubt, except that you don't have the Fender name on the headstock. And if that doesn't bother you, then go for it. Doesn't bother me. VTech, guitar salesman can move the first-time buyer from a Classic Vibe Squier to a new Fender Standard. Yeah, well, that's how they make their commission over at Guitar Center, and they'll sell that person all day long on you'd rather have a Fender, better resale, and that's completely bogus with respect to that Fender Standard Series because, again, you're not going to get anything for that guitar if you try to resell it with the specs that thing has on it. Fender name or no, you're a good guitar player is going to want a Classic Vibe all day long. And if you've got one of the unique colors of the Classic Vibe and years that they were made, maybe back in an early 2000 Classic Vibe, that'll be worth more money than that Fender Standard all day long. So the resell argument won't hold up. And also the fact, right, Indonesia build, Seal Gravy. If Indonesia, I wonder if Cortec is making these Fenders like the PRS SE models. I'm not sure. Could very well be because Samick and Cortec make a lot of their guitars, right? So that could very well be. I'm not sure one way or another. So on the EVH Special, Mitch, you're saying the strings were not aligned. So it was the E falling off the edge. Yeah, no, I know that story. Put new strings on and pull the posts out. Wow, that's a major endeavor for you, and also it's a major pain in the ass because when that E string is not aligned properly, it's most likely a nut problem, I would guess. Um, you can't play the guitar. It's wow. Sorry to hear that. Psych 336. Phil McKnight said at the end of his video, it's basically a Squire and he really knows gear. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, if it walks like a duck, as they say, quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, whatever the rest of it is, it's a duck. Well, yeah, it's basically a Squire. He's right. Mark, happy with my mid-price and cheap Indonesia Squires. Not really interested in these. Yeah, exactly. And I was saying it before, Mark. I'm not sure if you were on or not, but all day long I would go with, especially the new Squire Affinities, which are really, really good value instruments. Really well-made guitars. The Tellys have the belly carve. They're finished beautifully. They have ceramic pickups, but the stock pickups are probably the same ceramic pickups that they're using in that Fender, standard guitar. The tuners are extremely good on the Affinity line with the split shaft tuners. I've had no issues with the electronics. The color, variety of colors and availability of colors are great. Whereas with that standard series, you have a very limited amount of colors available. The whole thing is it's just a mess. Really, I don't know what Fender was thinking. And it's made in Indonesia as well. Correct. Yep. Although the classic vibes now, I believe, are all made in China. They were made in Indonesia. Now they're made in China. I believe the Affinities are now also being shifted to China as well. You took it to your guitar tech, Mitch, and he fixed it. Should have sent it back. You really should have. Or, Mitch, it should have been covered under... well, let me see. Let me think here. No. Even though... Is EVH owned by Fender? I thought they were. Maybe not. If they are, I'm thinking, would it be covered? Would that be a warranty item that could have been paid for? Not sure. Sweetwater should take care of you. Absolutely. And your Sweetwater sales rep, Mitch, they're usually all over you, right? Following up, were you happy with the sale? Anything else I could do for you? I mean, you would think that the Sweetwater guy would have taken care of you, either with a credit towards your next purchase or shaving some money off your existing guitar, something like it. But that's a shame. And you get it, whatever you buy, right? I mean, you saw, I'm not sure if you did or not, but I bought an open box item off of Musician's Friend. It was an SG Special 1. So it was the low line SG Special, just with the 2 ceramic humbuckers in it. Looked beautiful. It was in the, what I love, the cherry red color for the SGs. And it said level 2. And I've had a lot of experience with Musician's Friend, and I've never had any issues when it says level 2. Normally it's, somewhat close to level 2. This thing came with a cracked neck at the nut, both on the high E side of the fretboard and the high E side down here of the fretboard and the low E side of the fretboard. Cracks right from the nut, extending maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches into the, down along the fretboard. And they were deep cracks, right, that you could see the wood through. So that was only going to get worse over time. So that went back. I called up Musician's Friend, spoke to the rep, said, hey, if I keep this thing, what can you shave off the price for me? Oh, $15. That's the most I can do. I said, give me a label. It went right back. $15. Are you kidding me? I mean, that was an insult. Let's see what we got here. Psych 336. Funny how Squire did the Hello Kitty guitar, but only a limited number, and now it's being scalped again. Yeah, that's a big money grab, right? They put those things out for a short period of time, and people are making money on them. There must be a demand for them, obviously. I wouldn't pay it, but some people are into that. Let's see. VTech, Fender has destroyed the standard name, shuffling the origins of manufacture. Yep. I remember I don't know if you guys remember, but the old Squire standards, right? Which were right before the classic vibes. And those guitars were probably one of the better value Squire lines that they had, because the guitars were almost as good as the classic vibes. In some cases, some people like the neck feel even better. It was a little fuller neck on the guitar and extremely well made. And they discontinued that standard line of Squires. And so I was very curious when Fender rebranded their guitars or came out with the Fender Standard series. I thought maybe it would be very similar to what Squire did with the standards, but no, not the case. Lunamatic man from the West Coast. Hopefully you're safe, boy. Well, you're in North California, in San Francisco, so you're okay. Thank God. That LA area is a real crime, and I feel horrible for those folks. Let's see. Mark, I think I missed that. Your Affinity Telly is made by Court. You have 3 other Squires made by Samick. All very good. Good deals, too. Yeah, can't go wrong with, Court or Samick, right? Pick one. They make guitars probably for 60% of the guitar manufacturers out there. One of those guys. And all of the quality of them are great. They're really, really good guitars. Mitch, you said it's owned by Fender, EVH. You could have sent it back, but too much of a hassle. It only cost $108 to fix it. Well, listen, I hope Sweetwater took care of you, buddy. That's all I could say. You were very understanding, and you did it without hassling them or giving them any issues. But, good to you on that. But it's a shame that you got screwed on that one. So hopefully your sales rep either took care of you or will take care of you on the next one over at Sweetwater. The other way to get around it is not to buy from them anymore. But I don't know what your relationship is with Sweetwater, so I'm not recommending or saying anything. Let's see here. I played. Okay, Steve, welcome aboard, man. You played one of the standards, and it felt just like a Squire Classic Vibe, just $200 more for a Fender decal. If I wanted a high-quality, affordable guitar, I would just grab a Classic Vibe. Yeah, absolutely, Steve. That's what we've been saying for a while here. In fact, you're getting a better deal with the Classic Vibe. You're getting better stock components on it, But let's see here. Citizen, have you looked inside the standard yet? I have not. I'm not sure if that guy Jake, Big Jake, did. I'm hearing that he has one and he had a video, but I'm not sure if he's the type that's going to gut the guitar, and start prying around with it. I think he's more of a player than a fixer, a tinkerer. But I can tell you right now, without looking inside that guitar, and I would bet you dollars to donuts, they're not full-size pots. They're definitely ceramic pickups. It's probably got a shoddy soldering job. I don't think they're shielded. And again, that's my opinion. You know who's going to do it? Phil McKnight. At some point in time, Phil McKnight will open up that guitar and do his thorough testing and explanation of what's inside. But I have not. Phil McKnight did a telly, right? He's going to do the Strat next, VTech. I saw that. Yeah, I saw Phil's review, and it wasn't really a great endorsement to Fender. He was basically saying, again, like everybody else has been saying, it's effectively a Squire. And you can probably do just as well buying a Squire. What else? What else? You know what I've been noticing on Amazon, guys? I don't know if you've been noticing this as well. That Ivy, or IYV, I shouldn't say Ivy. I always get nailed for that one. IYV, Indian Vina, has been restocking a lot of their guitars. Their Telly's been available. The Strat style guitar for like $120 was available for a while. I think it's sold out because their stuff tends to sell as quickly as they get more in. They've got their Rickenbacker version in stock again. So yeah, so they're starting to restock, which is nice. And it's free shipping because it's on Amazon. If you buy a lot of these things on eBay, for whatever reason, they charge like $100 to ship the stuff over from Vietnam, where they're manufactured, which is crazy. But yeah, they're starting to, restock, which is great. What else? Harley Benton. I've never bought Harley Benton only because it takes a while for it to ship from Germany. Uh, the shipping charges are usually on the higher side. So I've been avoiding the Harley Benton guitars. I know they're available on Reverb now, but they apparently have some new models out as well that have been getting decent reviews on YouTube. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are of Harley Benton. If you like them, don't like them. VTech, that's what I like about Phil. He'll tell you straight up, good, bad, and ugly. Hence, why would manufacturers send him product for review? Yeah, yeah, he's an honest guy, from what I can gather, and does a real nice job with giving you the straight poop on gear. And he's a very knowledgeable guy, which helps as well. Mr. Fats, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining. Steve, probably mad late to this, but I totally just realized that the pups were ceramic when Squire Classic Vibes are Alnico. Yeah, I said that, right. Yep, absolutely. The Squire Classic Vibes, depending upon the model, have either Alnico 2s or 5s. Some have 3s, I believe, but most of them are 2s or 5s, whereas that standard abortion, excuse me, has ceramic pickups. Ridiculous. IYV, Martin, hooked you up with an SG style short scale bass at NAMM. Oh, so you were at NAMM, Martin. Cool. How was it? Did you enjoy it? It seemed like it was a pretty good show this year. They asked me to wait until March to do a review. Okay, cool. Now, for those of you that don't know, guys, just a shout out. Martin on this channel here, Martin Blasick. Am I pronouncing that right, Martin? Or Blasick? I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong either way. You tell me. You correct me phonetically. But Martin's got a great YouTube channel. Martin writes songs and is a musician and has a nice YouTube channel as well. And I encourage you guys to check it out. Martin, feel free to put your link in here as well for the folks that are in the chat room. It's always good when I have multiple people on here. And Mitch, do the same, please. Mitch Heyman, for those that don't know Mitch is another YouTuber, has a great channel on gear. He does some great reviews, is a lot more knowledgeable studio equipment than I am, and has done some good reviews and chat sessions on equipment, on how to make videos and things of that nature. Mitch, put your channel link on here as well. Feel free. And if I'm missing anyone, guys, that has a YouTube channel, please do so. Please feel free in the chat to throw your channel link on board. Okay, Martin, so I had it right the first time. Blasick, there you go. Thank you. You've always wanted to go to NAMM, Steve? Yeah, I hear you. I usually watch Anderton's walkthrough, and as well as the Ola England. When he goes, got to save up some dollars to go one day. Yeah, and also, it's a great experience, right? Because if you are a YouTuber like Martin and Mitch, you get to meet other YouTubers. So it's like a little family there. You can share war stories and get some tips, help each other out. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. So collaboration, especially amongst people, it seems that there are a lot of people with channels like this, right? Much, much larger than this channel, by the way. This is nothing. But it is really a very, very small community when you think about it, the guitar community. So it's really helpful if people help each other out and share information and just, work together, right? That's what it's all about. Let's see what we got here. Thanks, Martin. Jay, thanks for sharing all your finds out there. Keep up the great work. Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. It's very kind. So what else? What else are we talking about? So NAMM, yeah, NAMM had interesting reviews I've seen of NAMM on YouTube. The interesting thing here is Donner, right? For those of you that have followed this channel and are very familiar with Amazon, where Donner really started out selling gear amongst direct from Donner as well. They've grown. They had a huge booth this year, from what I understand, over at NAMM. And Steve from Boston, for those of you that don't know that name, he's got a channel on YouTube where he does reviews of the week every Monday, and he's done a ton of guitars from Donner and seems to think very highly of them, both on the travel guitars that they make as well as some of their other Strat style guitars and metal style guitars as well. Let's see. I've got a bump. I'm doing a live gig in just a few moments. Martin, good luck with your live gig. God bless. Enjoy. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you soon. Yeah. So back to the topic, right? Topic at hand. These guitars are the best value, in my opinion, right now, if you want Fender on the logo and want to save money, right? Which is what the average Joe channel is all about, right? Being a novice and a home hobbyist. I wanted a guitar that had a Fender logo on it, just to have one decent instrument. I have a ton of Squires. I have a ton of other no-name branded Strat style guitars. You can go up and down the list of those, right? And I wanted a Fender, but I didn't want to spend Fender USA money. And even the used models of the USA guitars that I was looking at were above my pay grade. So I said, what's the best value? Now, these, the Player 1, which they're blowing out right now to make room, obviously, for the Player 2, which has now been announced and has been out for months. You can get the best deal on these guitars. And every now and then, if you're lucky, you can get one of these. Do you see on the back of the guitar where it says 70th anniversary? I don't know if you could see the 70. It's upside down. This is a 70th anniversary Stratocaster. And I think at some point in time, that'll probably have some value when I go to resell this guitar, maybe, 100 years from now. I might be able to get 10 or 20 bucks more because of that. I'm just kidding. But no, it's nice to have. And only certain models have it. I don't know what dictates that or not, because I've seen other guitars that are made in 2024 with this serial number, with a 2024 serial number, that don't have that stamp on it. But this was Musician's Friend, maybe. I don't know. And also this color, which is Surf Pearl, which is a custom color for Musician's Friend. Really dig it. And that's why I bought the guitar. And you can get this guitar for sub 550 bucks if you're lucky and you find it on sale. And you're less money than a standard. And again, you're getting Alnico pickups. You're getting better tuners. You're getting a better neck on this guitar. You're getting 22 frets on this guitar, I believe. What else? Electronics, probably better, I would imagine. Alder body or alder body as opposed to a poplar body. There's a whole host of reasons. But mostly, the alder wood body, the ceramic pickups, the better electronics. Reason enough, right? You can get a real rosewood fretboard as opposed to an Indian laurel fretboard. On this guitar, however, the Player 2 has the rosewood. You would get a laurel if that's what you were looking at. So yeah, good deal. I would stick with, once again, I would stay with the Player Series 1 for really good value instruments. Let me see what I'm missing here. Yeah, Surf Pearl VTech. It's a great color. Dylan R, can I play when I come around from Green Day? I don't know when I come around from Green Day. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I can play She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain if that. No, I'm just kidding you. Let's see here. Surf Pearl, does Fender, blah, blah, blah. Surf Green. VTech, it's Surf Pearl. Yeah. So it's Surf Green, pearlized Surf Green. That's really what it is. Steve's channel, always keeping an eye out for the cats. Yeah. Well, he's a real cat person. And Buddy, I guess, is his cat. Buddy Cat. Yeah, he's a funny guy. What else do we have going on here? It's metallic, yes. It has a slight, with this camera, you can't tell, but it has a slight metallic flake on it as well, which is beautiful. I really loved, and it's also got the vintage white tuners and knobs. Just a really nice looking Strat, in my opinion. Lunomatic, no, I don't, man. I could relic guitars really well because of my limited ability in luthier skills and modding, but that's really the main reason I don't mod. But relicing, just look, even around the house, I don't fix anything because I'm not handy, but I can do great demolition work and I can destroy things like nobody's business. Similarly, with a guitar, I can do the same. If you want me to screw up a guitar in short order, give it to me. If you want me to mod it and enhance the value of the instrument, or maybe put certain features and functions on it, stay away. What do we got here? Joe, just mailed my Sweetwater salesman and told him all about the trouble I had with the EVA. Good for you, Mitch. Good for you. I'm keeping fingers crossed, right? And hoping you have a good experience with that one. They should take care of you, man. Fluid, you got your HSS Player 2 for $549, brand new from Musician's Friend. Wow, that's a smoking deal on a Player 2. Now, was that I'm assuming you contacted your salesman, called him up and said, make me a deal. That wasn't an advertised special, was it? Because that was one that got by me. But $549.99 is unbelievable for a Player 2. Mr. Fats Variety Vibe. What do we got here? Best way to relic a guitar is tie it to the back of the car and drive it along the New Jersey Turnpike. Yeah. And also, at that point in time, if that doesn't completely do the relicing job you were looking for, Mr. Fats, then I would take it to probably a 30 or 40 story building and just, send it off there and see if that finishes it to to your liking. It may or may not. They had some deals like that around Black Friday. I remember one at $559, and that was for a Player 2, huh? Wow. Steve, you did a Jimi Hendrix relic on a Glary Strat once. I set the piece of shit on fire. Last thing I set on fire was my Mets hat, and that was about I think about 10 or 11 years ago. I flamed that thing, but no guitars recently. Only a green color that was that low that I saw. Okay, yeah. Player 2, but it was gone fast. I would imagine it would be at that price. Limited edition ocean turquoise. Wow. That's a great color too. Jeez. Unreal. Metallic. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear I'm a Mets fan too, VTech. But I was born into it. There's nothing I can do about it. It's like Frank Zappa's line, he's walking down the street one day when he pissed on one of his neighbor's front lawn, but he's a wino. He can't help himself, right? Or I'm a wino. I can't help. Well, I'm a Mets fan. I can't help myself. But whatever. So, guys, this was an impromptu show. I'm running out of ideas. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, open it up. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it a day, I think. I was surprised I got as much interaction here as I got. I wasn't planning on it. How come, Mr. Fats, how come Fender doesn't paint their headstocks to match the body? They do make those, but we got to pay a ton. Yeah, for a while there, they had Classic Vibes that had the matching headstocks, if you recall. A lot of their contemporary series guitars have matching headstocks. Some of the Paranormals, some of the custom type guitars lines that they had the matching headstocks. But you're right, you don't see it that often, and I think it makes a difference. I mean, for crying out loud, some of the low end Squires had matching headstocks, right, on the guitars. You think they Psych 336? I think they really dropped the ball not doing more eye-catching or unique finishes. Yeah, well, they dropped the ball in more than just the finishes on that standard series. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things they could have done right on that they, for whatever reason, missed. Yeah, Mitch, you know what? The Ravens made it, more so than I can ever say for the Jets. You're right. They lost. It was a tough one, a bad way to lose. But at least they got to the playoffs. Yeah, they'll be fine. They still have a fairly good team that will do well next year, I'm sure. VTech, thank you for subscribing, VTech. I really appreciate it, and thanks for joining in everybody here today. The Classic Vibe 50 had a matching headstock. Okay, Citizen, yeah, I know a couple of the Classic Vibes did. Better colors. Yeah, I love Misery VTech, if you haven't figured that one out by now. So the fact that, I follow not only the Jets, but the Mets, that's a real Misery lover, right? Real one. You remember watching? Yeah, I do too. Beating the Colts in the Super Bowl. That was the Heidi. No, the Raiders was the Heidi Bowl, I think. But that was Namath against Johnny Unitas, if I'm not mistaken. Mitch, it's given up my age, but I probably got some on you, I would think, but maybe not. Everybody's coming out with pain now. This is great. Fluid saying he's a lifelong Lions fan. Yeah, but look at the Lions now, right? Look at them now. They're a fucking force to be reckoned with, man. They're unbelievable. Plus, the head coach is great. You got to love that guy. It's one of the best. Mitch, I'm right there, buddy. 65. Okay, so you got me by a couple. Citizen Soldier, 1970. Yeah. VTech, Tortured Soul. Yeah, no, I know. I don't need to play guitar more for anybody because I need to increase my skills first before I try doing that. But I don't want to, torture people and have people unsubscribe because of that. But maybe on the next video, I'll plug it in and play a little bit, guys. And I'll see the volume of chats rapidly decrease. Steve, I'm a dip, but thanks God for the video. Yeah, thanks for joining, Steve. Have a good night. Take care, buddy. I've been a Seahawks fan for 40. Yeah, well, Seahawks have been they've had their share. They've had their share of trouble, that's for sure. But they have a good team too. It's just that I think they need to get a quarterback, right? Johnny Unitas and Earl Monroe both played. Yeah, so Earl the Pearl played back then. I know that, but obviously not on the Colts. He was playing a different ball. But yeah, Mr. Fats, this might sound dumb, but how cool would Fender be if they paint their guitars the same color Mustangs do? Some of those colors are pretty cool. Yeah, and the Mustangs have, that's a different audience, right? That whole surf mode tends to, cater to some of the more flashy colors. But yeah, some of those guitars are real nice. Oh, Earl Morrow, not Earl Monroe. I saw Earl Monroe earlier. I was thinking basketball. Earl Morrow was Johnny Unitas' backup. Right. That's correct, Richard. And he was a decent quarterback too. Big guy. Jets did better than my Giants this year, though. Yeah, well, most teams did. Again, I follow the Giants as well, unfortunately. That's the triumvirate. And yeah, they're another losing proposition. But hopefully they'll get a quarterback and make it an interesting run, hopefully. But it's going to take a while. They need to build they need to get their running game back. Saquon killed them. They need to get an offensive line. They need to get a guy that can throw. They need to get a defensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. There's a whole host of things the Giants need. Mr. Fast, no, I mean the cars. Oh, okay. The Mustang cars. Okay, there you go. Boy, oh boy, this is great. This is like talking in two languages over here today. The players are good, and it's a good time to grab a good used one. Yeah, that's for sure. That's the moral of the story on this this session today. Buy a used Player 1 or Player 2 and avoid the Fender Standard. That's the mantra. They did Saquon the biggest favor. Yeah, he's got a team. He's got an actual good team to play on now. Earl Monroe played for the Baltimore Bullets before going to the Knicks. That's right. And he joined Clyde, which was an interesting combination of Monroe and Clyde at the guards. All right, guys. Well, listen. I'm talking sports now, which is probably what you don't want me to do. And it's just touching 50 minutes. So we're going to sign off. Those Trump guitars, yeah, I saw a couple of reviews on the Trump guitars. And man, you talk about a guitar being overpriced. Holy crow. It looked to me, at least, and I never played one, but it looked to me like just a really, really entry level import Les Paul style guitar that was way, way overpriced. But who knows? I mean, if they could get what they're asking for those things, then more power to them. But wow, they look bad. I agree, Psych. They didn't look good. Some of the what guitars? The J. Some people call them jams. The boy, oh boy, whatever mental block. Amazon has them all the time. The J. Oh boy, I have a mental block. But it's a budget brand on Amazon that makes like Eagle guitars and American flag guitars and things like that. Leo James, thank you, Mr. Fats. You solved my brain freeze. The Leo James guitars look better actually than that Trump guitar, and they're about 1/10 the price. I tell you, it's not fun getting old, man. Not fun. My memory's shot. Let's see, Joe. I thought about starting a sports channel and a political channel. Well, if you need a co-host, let me know, Mitch. Maybe we make a good team. Oh boy. But in any event, listen, guys, thank you. I always enjoy chatting and talking with you guys. You're the best. Hope this was entertaining. Again, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about the Standard Series. I think we accomplished it. Yeah, I know, Mitch, you've got the Leo James guitars. You've done some really good reviews on them on the channel and demos playing them. In fact, that Monsoon that you play works well for you, man. You sound great on that thing. And the Monsoon is a beautiful guitar for that price. It really is. Let's see. There might be the biggest ripoff in guitar history. Could be. That or the Standard from Fender. One or the other. Every hit like the Trump guitar. When's the next live? Probably in a week or two. How's that? I'm going to try to start to do more of these than I've been doing because I have a lot of fun and we have a good time. And I'll give you an advance warning next time so that you'll say, Jesus Christ, I better be busy at on this date. Otherwise, I gotta. No, I'm just kidding you. But your siblings disowned you for being a. I know. I know you're feeling, Mitch. I feel your pain, buddy. One or the other. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, guys, thanks again. Thanks again. All be well. And I will give you a heads up on the next live one. Peace, everybody. You take care. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, guys? Have a great one. Ciao.